Hi, I'm Steve. Tonight I'm going to ask the question: is The Silence of the Lambs a horror movie? I have my Blu-ray here. The movie online, when you look it up, it says it's a thriller horror movie. And when I put my top 10 favorite horror movies together not too long ago, I thought about putting this movie on it. Then I thought, is this really a horror movie? It's an Oscar winner. Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster won Oscars for it. The movie won Best Picture. So it kind of makes it more of a mainstream kind of movie. But, the more I think about it, the more I think it is a horror movie. And it has Buffalo Bill, he wears people's, skin. And he had Hannibal Lecter, he bites people's faces off, and he's a cannibal. So I think absolutely it's a horror movie. It may not be, a traditional horror movie, like this movie was released in 1991, and what people thought of horror based on what they saw in the 80s, if they thought of slasher movies like Jason and Michael Myers and Leatherface uh, and Freddy Krueger, that's the Mount Rushmore of slashers there. And then the 90s came along, and the idea of horror kind of was redefined. And I know on my top 10 list I put Poltergeist on it, and that's listed as horror thriller. So I thought, as far as scary movies, I think Silence of the Lambs definitely has to be on my list. So I decided I'm going to redo my list, my top 10, just to make things right, I guess, to kind of revise things. And that means that The Exorcist 3 had to be booted off. So here's my list. Number 10, I have The Thing. Number 9, I have An American Werewolf in London. Number 8, I have Night of the Living Dead. 7, Alien. 6, Dawn of the Dead, the original, 1978, George Romero. Number 5, I have Poltergeist. It's a Tobe Hooper movie. Steven Spielberg wrote the movie, and people believe he probably directed a lot of the movie. So number 4, I have The Silence of the Lambs. Number 3, I have The Shining. Number 2, I have Halloween, the 1978 John Carpenter movie. And then number 1, I have Jaws. So, I think that some people might disagree. I don't know, they might, if they're putting together a top 10 of horror movies, I don't know if they would put Silence of the Lambs on it. But as far as where I ranked it on this list, I know I put Silence of the Lambs really high on my top 25 of the 90s movies. And also I had, on my top 10 favorite movies, I had Halloween listed as number 9, and I had The Silence of the Lambs ranked, I think it was number 6, I believe, on that list. So how can I have it higher on that list but then not higher on this list? I think it's because I kind of think Halloween is more of a traditional horror movie, and it's hard for me to rank when I'm talking about horror movies. It's hard for me to rank anything other than Jaws, to rank it higher than that. So it's kind of strange when you think of The Silence of the Lambs. It's a horror movie, but it's not really a traditional horror movie. And when I think of really scary movies, I have to put Halloween higher, and it's so it kind of depends what list I'm talking about. Great movies versus great horror movies. So that's why I kind of did that. I thought, well, I can't put Silence of the Lambs at number 2 on a horror list, but I could put it at number 4. I could put it after The Shining and Halloween and Jaws. I could put it fourth. I'm comfortable with that. And Poltergeist is number 5, which is also a scary movie, but maybe not a traditional horror movie either. It's a ghost movie. So that's how I did it. So I'd love to hear people's comments. Do you think The Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie? Some people might say no, it's a great movie, but it doesn't belong on a top 10 horror list. And some people, it's kind of all depends what you like. If you like really really gory movies, I think the Silence of the Lambs has gore in it, and it shows blood. It's just not. It's more kind of like highbrow horror, I guess. And then people when they think of a Best Picture Academy Award Oscar-winning movie, they think, well, I can't put that on a horror list. It's just too mainstream. But for me, as far as scary movies, I have to put it in there. There's some terrifying scenes when Jodie Foster when she first meets Hannibal Lecter. That is chilling. she when she goes around the corner and he's just standing there. That's scary. I mean, so that's my list. But I'd love to hear people's comments and if it's not too much trouble, please put a like on it. It's a thumbs up. Or if you didn't like this video, just put a thumbs down on it. Let me know. maybe you think, let this guy even redo his list. This movie's really not a horror movie, but I just felt like I had to do it. The more I thought about it, and it really hadn't been that long since I saw the movie, so, so I just know it's a scary movie, and it's one of my favorites. So I really have to hear people's comments. So have a good night. Bye.